bringing about 5 people with him. Logan, obviously, in the past week alone, you've had 3 transfers, 3 players entering the transfer portal, 2 players entering the NFL draft. I mean, honestly, Logan, what is going on?
Oh man, we expected a lot of transfers to happen, and most of these so far make sense. I don't think there's been any big surprises. Really, the only one was a couple weeks ago, whenever it happened to be Chuba Purdy a while back. But other than that, these are kind of guys that we expected a little bit, and definitely guys like the Kalen Brooks had him noted down on maybe leaving or finding different endeavors after he has graduated from Florida State. And then you've got True Thompson, who this year, kind of coming into the season, we were expecting to see him fill the void and building some depth there for Odell Higgins, but just didn't seem to be the case, and he was dealing with injuries. And then you have Jaleel Mccray, veteran linebacker there, that just didn't come in, things weren't clicking for him. That's where Deloach came and blew up this year, and didn't happen for McCray. So, so far, these transfers isn't much of a surprise. I think soon there's going to be some potential guys that are in that 2 deep, even a starter or 2 that could either make the decision to move on to other institutions or go pro and what they feel like they can. It's just so far you got a few offensive linemen too that have left. So this opens up a lot of room for Mike Norvell and what they want to do in the transfer portal moving forward.
Looking at the 2 guys who declared for the NFL draft, obviously both of the linebacker position, Kalen Brooks, obviously the son of Seminole great Derek Brooks from the Tampa area, Emmett Rice from down here in the South Florida area from Miami. Both of them declared for the NFL draft. Now, other than I believe Emmett Rice had an interception against Duke in 2017, Kalen Brooks gave up a touchdown, the winning touchdown against Miami in 2018. There aren't a lot of great moments for either guy. So I guess my question to you, and both are talented individuals. Emmett Rice obviously last year dealt with injuries that sidelined him the entire season last year. What do you think is behind their move to go to the NFL? Honestly, because both of them on the surface, it doesn't look like they have a lot to put together a highlight reel from this past season. What do you think led to their decision to go to the NFL?
I think Emmett Rice just kind of was dealing with so many injuries, and there was some potential that maybe he would have a chance at locking down a medical waiver for where he'd be eligible this upcoming season and this next season. And just didn't seem to be the case. And he dealt with an injury in the spring, didn't get to see the field really at all this season. He was dressed up for senior day just for the ceremony practically. Wasn't fully 100% in my opinion after being at practices, but Emmett Rice, you wish that you could have him back next year. Just not going to be the case because he brings veteran leadership along with experience and is nice in the running game and was playing really well there near the end of the season last year. And it seemed like he was getting back into his groove after his previous injury when he played against Florida in 2019. So Emmett Rice, just kind of a up and down career, but I think he has a potential in his next stop, wherever it is going to be. To Kalen Brooks, I think, I don't think he's going not an NFL route. Maybe if he wants to go into other things, but not going to be he's not going to be drafted in this upcoming. He'll maybe get picked up as a free agent, but I just don't see that route. I think that was just kind of a nice way of just putting out there saying, I'm done, I'm graduated, I'm not playing next year, because he had another year of eligibility due to COVID-19. And yeah, that kind of does it for him.
I see where Brooks actually had a pretty decent beginning of his career to Florida State. There, 2018, had played in 11 games, 46 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, contributed that first season. And then since then, he hasn't really been on the field.
Yeah, he was the one who came in, like we said, obviously he did have the legacy, as being the son of arguably one of the best, if not the best linebackers in Florida State history. So that's where it was puzzling to me that he just went on that downhill slide so quickly. And I wonder, Logan, what do you think that was about? Because you could see he wasn't getting as much playing time, especially towards his past season, as he did as a freshman. What was behind that?
I think the biggest thing, he came in undersized. I don't think that helps a lot there. I don't think don't think as a staff they were really expecting a whole ton from him. But he started off his career nicely. But there's just other guys that were more talented, and he got passed up by true freshmen coming in. We saw a lot of DJ Lundy along with Steven Dix last season, and that only continued. We're talking 2 seasons ago as freshmen, and then this past season as redshirt sophomores play a whole lot more too. So DJ Lundy actually being a starter, so just kind of passed up on the depth chart. But best of luck to him. I think he's a great kid, and I've talked with Coach or Mr. Brooks on our show before, and he was very excited about his son coming to Florida State. So wish him the best of luck, and if there's a chance for him, I hope he gets after it. Hope he takes advantage of it.
You mentioned obviously now back into the transfer portal. Florida State has not hesitated to go through the transfer portal, dating back to when Jimbo Fisher was the head coach of this team. Who are some of the guys Florida State may be looking at? Guys who are in the transfer portal now. Obviously, the news today about Max Johnson, the quarterback at LSU, son of another Florida State legend, Brad Johnson. Is Florida State going to make a move after another lefty quarterback? Is Florida State going to make a move for offensive lineman? What are you hearing?
Yeah, I think so far Florida State is just going to see what's popping with the Johnson brothers, see what's going on there, see if there's any interest. Brad Johnson, from things I've heard before, the relationship isn't too great. It could be better. And that really stinks because his sons are very talented. You got a quarterback and a tight end even probably more talented than his brother at quarterback. And, Florida State would love to bring both of those guys in to build depth in quarterback, along with having a tight end, a really good threat at tight end Florida State hasn't had in a little while. So, that I think we'll see how that transpires. That was just about late about this time yesterday. So, that's going to have to continue, and we'll see if Norvell, Dillingham want to make a move there and get a visit set up. But we'll see. You would love to see 2 legacy kids come to Tallahassee, definitely with the talent, and leaving LSU. Those definitely surprise to many. But I think Florida State's going to play patient here. There's a ton of more kids that are going to hit the portal, including after spring ball's over. There's going to be a lot of guys hitting the portal. Just playing patient right now. I don't think there's really much of anybody nothing really worth right now going and grabbing. Then you lose that spot there at linebacker. I think they're going to have some patience and wait a little bit longer. There's going to be some more potential grabs. I'll just have to wait and see. I think that's what the staff's going to do.
Well, Mark looks up his stats here for the.
I am digging deep here. I am digging deep. So we cannot move on from this topic because, I wanted to credit, because I'll probably be in contact with our highlights department to dig up the one tackle that Jaleel McCray had in his Florida State career in 2020 against Duke. One tackle.
In a win. Tackle in a win.
In a win. So we will have to dig that up and see. It was probably like 12 yards downfield, and that was his one time. Now, I find it interesting with Thompson and McCray. They both made their biggest splash their first season. Not anything historic, great, anything like that. But Thompson had 15 tackles, a couple tackles for loss. McCray, the same thing, 15 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, and a sack. And then both of them pretty much didn't see the field hardly at all after that.
Yeah, not big losses. Nothing.
Yep.
It won't be big losses, but I will say loss in depth, absolutely. Florida State is extremely thin. We still got to see what Amari Gaynor wants to do, too. That's someone I'm eyeing just to see. Could be testing the waters, what he wants to do. And right now you're relying on just a few others, definitely DJ Lundy and Steven Dix, to jump in and play a pivotal role for the future of the linebacker room. But they got to him. And you're looking at Omar Graham Jr., who's 2022 or 2021 commit, or should I say 2022 commit, coming in, who's very talented and is going to be great for Florida State in the future. But there's just not enough depth there. That's why I think Florida State's going to wait a little bit and see what they can build in the transfer portal. And I think they will. And there's a guy named Bursay, who also is, I forget which school he's from, but a very small school that is extremely talented defensive end, that you lose Jermaine Johnson and you want to replace him. you want to replace Jermaine Johnson, this Verse kid, if you guys want to go look at some of his highlights, it is very, very fun to watch. So there's some guys at Florida State's after. Just some part of that, though, is playing patient. You know, some of those big-time transfers didn't commit until, January. You got, we're talking even into the spring, a lot of them into the spring, too. So just patience.